'Tis the season for giving, and the In at 500's holiday gift package is the perfect present. For only $299, you'll give or receive a cozy night in a deluxe king room to enjoy in 2025, valet parking, $100 for on-site dining, and you can make it even merrier and upgrade to a suite for only $100 more. This deal is only available until December 24th, so call 208-227-0500 or visit inat500.com/holiday gift package. Give joy, give luxury, give the In at 500. Practice self-care this season with a winter wellness getaway to Salishan Coastal Lodge by SCP Hotels. With a commitment to wellness and sustainable hospitality, Salishan is the perfect place to recharge this holiday season. As a CityCast Boise listener, treat yourself to 20% savings on your stay with code CityCast. Salishan Coastal Lodge offers endless ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Plan your restorative stay at Salishan Coastal Lodge. Book now at salishan.com using code CityCast for 20% savings and start your journey to feeling refreshed and renewed. Today on CityCast Boise, we're taking a look at how the rejected Kroger-Albertsons merger will affect Idaho families, local grocery store prices, and how we got into this mess in the first place. Then we're celebrating Boise State football and Gentie's potential Heisman win. Plus, you'll never believe the unhinged gems we found on Facebook Marketplace. It's Friday, December 13th. I'm Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Happy Friday, everyone. Joining me today is Brittany Hargis, comedy producer and local comedian. Thanks for being here this Friday, Brittany.
Thanks, Lindsay. Glad to be here.
It's getting a little slick out there, a little stormy. Have you managed to stay off any roofs?
You know, I have, but I can't say the same for a flying high fellow up in Nampa. I didn't know that Nampa took Grand Theft Auto so seriously, but they are playing it live right up there right now. It's fantastic. Did you see that?
I did see it, and I'm going to maybe need a diagram because I don't actually understand how that could have happened. I know he hit a berm. I know he went flying. He hit somebody's chimney and then was on another roof.
I assume he hit like at least 3 boosts and had some sort of like power play of some kind and like some sort of cheat combination of some sort. But yeah, this guy ended up with his car on a roof in Nampa. And my favorite thing about it is that, of course, the quote of it is the loudest bang you ever heard. And that is what the news went with.
Well, and I love one of the homeowners on like record said that they were, quote, flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted, yes.
I feel like flabbergasted is one of those like somebody cuts you off in traffic. If somebody ends up on your roof, I don't know if flabbergasted is the word I would use.
I like it. I like a good flabbergast.
Well, Brittany, I'm really curious your thoughts on something a little more serious, a little more widespread across the country. But just this week, a federal judge in Oregon blocked Kroger's proposed $25 billion merger with Albertsons. And I'm seeing a lot of responses from lots of different people and lots of different perspectives. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on this?
First of all, like I understand that the reason they really needed this, Albertsons really needed Kroger. Like this was like their kind of big like shot to like get bigger, I guess. Like they need the money as well.
I've heard rumors, and I posted about this, and I had a couple people in my comments on Instagram saying like the workers' families are actually stressed now because their job security was dependent on this going through. So there are families in the Treasure Valley who are really stressed about this decision.
But the frustrating part is that like Albertsons is still going to be like, they're saying like, hey, things are going to be a little bit tight, but they just threw a whole bunch of money back at the buybacks of this. Like we still want, I don't know. I just feel like they're throwing money around that they're saying that they don't have. It just feels very similar to dealing with my ex-husband. So I don't know.
Well, and they were very subtle or trying to hide the fact that came out during this trial that this would have led to higher prices. And I don't know about you, but Albertsons is already not cheap. Like I'm not going to Albertsons and going to find a deal unless there's like some really good sale. I've got to stop on my way home. I've got to grab these 2 things. It's close. And then I get to the register and I'm like, how is this so expensive? Why are the eggs $7 here?
No, that's why you have to stop at the bakery and get the free cookie, whether you have a child with you or not. Like, you get your money back there.
That's a good point. Like, you got to get your money's worth if you're shopping at Albertsons. And one thing that they brought up, that Albertsons brought up, that Kroger brought up, is that they needed this deal because they can't compete with Walmart. They can't compete with Amazon.
Yeah.
And so they needed this deal to keep themselves competitive. And the reason that this exists, the reason that grocery stores are struggling, I don't know if you know this, Brittany, it's because of Ronald Reagan.
Wait, what?
We are in this situation where these grocery stores are trying to merge. I have a theory that literally everything terrible in our country can be traced back to Reagan. Everything modern that's terrible.
I'm on board. I believe this. Tell me more.
Okay, so we're going to step back in history really quickly. In the 1930s, there was one really big grocery store called A&P. And they controlled all the prices. They told the suppliers what they could charge and that they would get a better deal, but smaller grocery stores would not get as good of a deal. So these smaller grocery stores were struggling. And the federal government was like, that's not cool. This is clearly a monopoly. So they passed the Robinson-Patman Act, and it made it illegal for suppliers to offer preferential treatment and deals to larger grocery stores, and that retailers couldn't demand those deals and preferential treatment. So for 40 years, this was great. Everybody gets the same price.
Yeah.
Small grocery stores, big grocery stores, everybody gets the same price, and small grocery stores thrived. Even tiny little towns would have 2 or 3 grocery stores. Well, Ronald Reagan did not like this. In the 1980s, he said that the Robinson-Patman Act was, quote, economically illiterate handouts aiding inefficient small business, end quote, and that antitrust laws were holding back American ingenuity.
Why do I picture him saying this with some finger guns at the end?
He probably did. Yeah. America.
Yeah.
America. So he got rid of it. And almost immediately, large retailers were like, fantastic. Walmart jumped on board, started strong-arming suppliers, driving local businesses out. And now we've gotten to this position where small grocery stores are dying out. There's food deserts everywhere. And even the large retailers like Albertsons and Kroger are like, we can't compete with Walmart. We can't compete with Amazon. And so they want to make their own little monopoly. And that is due to Ronald Reagan.
Okay, so we're supposed to be cheering for Albertsons to get together with a known toxic entity. And then Albertsons was like, if you won't marry me, I'm going to sue you. Is that kind of like the gist of, like, I need to put this in terms I understand, apparently?
Yeah. So Albertsons, right after the judge was like, we're not allowing this, Albertsons filed a lawsuit saying that Kroger violated its contract and did not follow through on commitments to get the deal approved. So basically, we went through this spotlight. We had all this hate because you said it was going to go through and it didn't. And Kroger's like, we did everything we could. We hid so many emails and it still didn't go through. It's not our fault. We didn't know they'd look that well. And so Albertsons is suing them now. It feels like a very toxic relationship at this point.
Absolutely. I'll watch the reality show of this one, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. And again, the whole Albertsons is suing. This is what I think is so dystopian. The merger didn't go through. That would have basically made a monopoly. And these companies are saying, these grocery stores are saying they can't compete with Amazon or Walmart. And so they need to be able to have a monopoly to be able to compete. And then they didn't get the deal. And so now Albertsons is like, maybe we're laying a whole bunch of people off. But somehow we also have money for a lawsuit and buybacks. And Kroger's like, you're on your own. We were trying to help you limp along because you were useful to us. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. And it's Reagan's fault.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Okay, Brittany, something very unusual has happened. Boise is in the news for something good, something exciting, something
False.
that has people cheering. I know. No, this never happens. So Boise State is amazing this year. Do you follow football at all?
I'm not a big football person, but like I'm going to pretend for you right now. I love sports ball. This is great. Let's do this.
I'm not a football-y person either, but I double checked my facts with my husband this morning because he lightly follows them. And I was like, am I saying the right things? And do I know what we're doing? And yes. So Boise State is heading to the Fiesta Bowl. And this is the fourth time that we've done this, but they completely restructured everything in college football, or a lot of the things. And so Boise State won the Mountain West Conference Championship. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know why, but they dismantled the goalpost and baptized them in the river.
Why not at this point?
I do have to say, I don't understand the reasoning why, but I do hear men making fun of women for like crystals and astrology and like coffee. But then their team won and they tore apart, they dismantled like publicly defaced property and threw it in a river. So I'm like,
but not before Post Malone signed the post, though. I do know this.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know about this.
There's definitely some like ritual involved into it. I'm a fan of that. Like, good for them.
No,
I don't know what this means.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm just saying, let's not yuck other people's yums. Because, like,
absolutely.
You know what? Some people like astrology and crystals and coffee and yoga, and some people like tearing apart goalposts and putting them in the river. We can all have our things.
It's kind of cute that they did it together. Like, I know that we shouldn't be encouraging this, but like, isn't that kind of precious? They were like, do you guys like want to like go for a walk together? It's really cute outside. Like,
well, and I don't know how this gets started. Like, did everyone know this was going to happen, or was this like a mob frenzy? Is this what's done, or is this tradition?
I just saw it on TikTok and I just felt like I was missing out on an event. I saw it and I thought, good for them.
Okay, this is really exciting, too, that tomorrow, Saturday, December 14th, the Heisman winner will be announced, and that's the trophy and the player. And there are two players that are like really high in the running, or it's likely they'll get it. And one of them is Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. And nice. I think it's been a long time or never that a Boise State player has been this likely to get a Heisman. And actually, his running back numbers, like how far he's running and how amazing he's doing, are compared to Barry Sanders, who was in the 1988 Heisman season. That's a major throwback for the people who know about that.
Okay. Hang on. I'll act shocked right now so that everyone who is into sports feels really validated. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like Barry Sanders.
Okay, got it.
And so anyway, I'm really like, that's so cool. I'm excited for Boise. I'm excited for Ashton Jeanty. I'm excited for Boise State football. I was attending college the first time in the Kellen Moore days, and that was really so exciting. And it is really fun to have your team be doing so well. And suddenly, like they're third seeded for this conference that's happening, the college football conference. I don't think that's ever happened. I know they reorganized it, but I don't think Boise State has ever been that highly seeded ever.
I'm so excited for them. I hope they have the best time at their little fiesta. I think it's going to be great.
They get to go to Arizona. That's warm.
Ugh, that's lucky.
I know. I'm like, I would work hard if I knew I got to go to Arizona.
Yeah. So tickets to go see the game, Fiesta Bowl, you're looking at $205, and airline, I mean, that's not going to include airfare, obviously. So you're going to be out a good grip right there.
Well, and I'm pretty sure they said they're jacking up the prices because America. So
perfect. Oh, good.
If you wanted to get your tickets, it's going to put you out a little bit of money. As far as I know, still free at the sports bars, probably free. I'm going to guess because it's a big deal. It's going to be like, you can watch this, like they're going to cover it. So, but for people who that's important, there are tickets, and that's exciting too.
And obviously we have great coverage here. Like you and I are obviously nailing this sports coverage, so we'll be talking about it. So
no, they definitely, that's a comment I get a lot, is that people are really coming to me for the sports coverage.
Good. A trusted source in the community.
Deck your home with Blinds.com. Blinds.com. DIY or let us install. Free design consultation. Free. Plus free samples and free shipping.
Head to Blinds.com now for up to 40% off select styles, plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Well, Brittany, we're doing something a little bit unique for our picks of the week. And this was your suggestion, and I thought it was really fun. So I wanted to try it this week, that instead of just doing, a pick of the week from the community, we were going to do the most unique or wildest or crazy thing that we found on Facebook Marketplace.
Unhinged is what I'm going for. I would like to see the most unhinged thing that we have found on Facebook Marketplace Boise, because there's some gems out here, guys.
It was okay. So I had to reactivate my Facebook to do this.
Worth it.
Well, about 3 minutes of scrolling, and I was like, I remember why I stopped using Facebook. But I was committed, and so I dug deep. But I'm really curious. What was the most unhinged thing that you found on Facebook Marketplace this week? And we're leading into the holidays, so there's a lot there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now's a great time. If you're trying to get a little bit of extra holiday money, I respect this person trying to sell this. This I think is actually a rather good deal. This is a Christopher Reeves life-size Superman bust. Just for a quick $2,000. Look at this gorgeous beauty.
Oh.
You could have a life-size bust of Christopher Reeves in your home.
Are we sure that's Christopher Reeves? I know nobody can see this. This is an audio medium. It's giving Henry Cavill.
You know what? I stand corrected. Let's read the details here, because they don't have just one, not two, but 5 different busts available. You could get Christopher Reeves. You could have a Catwoman statue, a Sideshow Predator 2, a Chatterhead bust. All of this could be yours, and each one is $2,000.
For the really committed fan of DC Comics, that goes hard, I bet.
Yeah.
That I would say maybe even a steal.
It's for that special someone that you're just like, how do I convey how I feel about you? And here's a life-size statue for just $2,000.
Okay, I don't know if that can compete, though, with Meridian School District, or West Ada School District is currently selling on this government get rid of stuff website. So it's not Facebook Marketplace, but
we went deep.
My 13-year-old really wants to buy something from West Ada.
Okay.
They are selling a 9-foot-tall Kung Fu Panda statue for $271.
I love that we found statue.
My 13-year-old deeply wants this statue, so I need somebody to buy it because I don't want it.
This could be a front yard centerpiece. I mean, just let your neighbors know where you stand politically on Kung Fu Panda.
I was going to say, it takes a bold stance, for sure. They're also selling a 1982 fire truck that he wants also.
Like a
real fire truck. That one's, not many people want it. It's still at $250.
Do you know what kind of damage I could do at school drop off with a fire truck? No, how much is it?
$250. So I if that's, again, I really want people to buy these things because my 13-year-old is trying to convince me.
This is a working fire truck?
I'm unsure.
Or is it a statue?
No, it's it was used as a fire truck is used. It's just from 1982. So I don't know if it starts. I don't know if it's functional, how functional it is. But
not
the school
with that
district,
attitude. We're going to get this thing moving.
Well, if you want to check it out, West Ada has some, according to my 13-year-old, gems that they're trying to get rid of for not much money. And he's heavily convincing me to try to buy them. And one of them is the fire truck and the Kung Fu Panda statue. And so I would appreciate if somebody would buy them so I don't keep getting shown them because I just really need that to be like, oh, sorry, honey. We're missing out.
Sounds like I've got some shopping to do.
Brittany, thank you for helping a friend out. But on Facebook Marketplace specifically, I found a 1982 Bud Light and Budweiser checkerboard set.
Ooh.
It is being marketed as it's vintage. It is classic.
Okay.
And it's only $20. And the seller says that's a steal, and I can't argue with that.
You got to take their word for it.
I was going to say, I've never seen this before. But the little pieces, instead of like little checker pieces, they're little beer bottles. And the Budweiser, there's like two teams. There's Budweiser and Bud Light, and you can play checkers with beer bottles.
Oh, look at this. Yes.
And I was like, that's unique. And on Facebook Marketplace. So just, a few things I found.
DC statues. We've got automobiles for a very good deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of good deals to be found. From West Ada, from Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
Well, Brittany, thank you so much for joining me this week. This was really fun. There were a wide range of topics to talk about, and I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Lots happening in Boise, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Really quickly before we wrap up for the week, I wanted to give you an update. Every year here at CityCast Boise, we compile demographic info about our podcast guests. We do this to make sure we're living up to our own value of diversity. It's important for us that we reflect our city, and this is how we hold ourselves accountable. The 2024 data is public info and is on our website, boise.citycast.fm. We'll also link it in the show notes, so please check it out if you're interested. We'll continue to do this again in 2025. That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. The show is produced by Evelyn Avitia, Frankie Barnhill, and me, Lindsay Van Allen. Blake Hunter writes our Hey Boise newsletter with help this week from Adrian Gonzalez and Natalie Rivera. Our music is by Up Is the Down Is the, and if you enjoyed our show today, leave us a review. It helps other people find us. We'll be back on Monday with a last-minute gift guide for the readers in your life. You won't want to miss it.